Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening. Welcome to Behind the Witch's Veil. And tonight we have another paranormal guest for you. But first, we're just going to say, how is everybody out there? Hope you guys are staying warm if you're in a cold climate, and staying cool if you're in a hot climate. so,
That'd be
um,
me.
yeah, it'd be, yeah, night and day. That's what we are, just about cold and hot. Yeah, here it's 16 degrees, but it feels like 7 with the wind chill factor.
Ooh, let's
Yeah.
see what mine is saying here. I don't know. Mine was, you're probably going to not like to hear what mine is right now. Let's see. 67.
Oh my gosh. What I would
Oh,
do for 67 right now. Yes.
feels like 65 because the wind is making it a little cooler now. That's
Oh,
hilarious.
that's your wind chill factor, the 2 degrees difference.
Exactly. That's our wind chill factor.
I think I'd take the 2 degrees different though than, almost, because 16 and going down to 7, that's,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah, that's a
that's
lot.
cold.
So that is cold, yeah. Not as cold as last week. Got down to
Yeah,
freezing. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with our guest tonight. Are you excited for our guest tonight?
I am. He's been on the books for a long time, so I've been excited to see him.
Yeah. So anyway, Potter Paranormal Project was founded in 2023 by Roger Potter, the seasoned lead investigator of Southwest Detroit Paranormal, after more than 2 decades spent exploring some of Michigan's most notorious haunted locations. Roger
Ooh.
recognized a growing need closer to home, giving everyday residents and the local community direct access to personal, residential, paranormal investigations. Emerging as an offshoot of Southwest Detroit Paranormal, Potter Paranormal Project was created to help individuals and families who might be experiencing unexplained activity in their homes, offering them not only an investigation, but understanding, guidance, and peace of mind. Sounds exciting. So,
I
but
love
to
it.
further ado, let's bring up Mr. Potter here. Hi, Roger. How are you?
Hello, ladies. How are you? I'm doing great.
Doing good. Nice to have you on. Thank you for joining us, Roger.
Thanks for having me. And if it does make you feel any better, it's 9 here with the wind chill. It feels like 0.
Ooh. Yeah, I knew you two would hate when I'd say 67.
My mother-in-law lives in Florida, so I hear it all the time.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
I bet. I'm used to it. I got a lot of friends in Arizona, so I'm used to them saying, "Guess how hot it is today, or guess how warm it is." And I was like, "Oh, get out of here." So,
It's like 65. Nanny, nanny, boo boo.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So, Roger, how did you come about? Because I know you was founded in 2023. So, how did that involve you to do the paranormal project?
So it started. I'll be honest. Everybody in my family kind of had a love for like horror and dark things, and the paranormal, and we all did as growing up. But I lived in an old Detroit house, and it's like an old early 1900 house. And it was haunted, and I was terrified. So I'm not gonna lie. I used to see a shadow figure every night, look at my room, check on me, and it terrified me for a long time. After a while, I just became curious, and then you know, as time kind of went on, I just started kind of exploring some things and started going on, just my own little adventures. And then historic Fort Wayne in Detroit offered a ghost hunt, a public ghost hunt with some of the guys from like ghost hunters and taps
Love
Hmm.
it.
back like when they were original.
The original members.
Yeah, yeah, like original couple seasons. And my mom got wind of it, and she got tickets for me and my dad. We went. We had a good time, and between the three of us, and then we added my sister and my brother-in-law, Southwest Detroit Paranormal was formed, and we started doing a lot of the big like pay to play, places. But with all of us, everybody has kids, everybody has jobs. It's hard to get everybody together for smaller investigations and doing it more full time, like I intend to do it,
Hmm.
um, and residential and things like that. So that's how Potter Paranormal Project was founded. It's more of just myself and maybe one or two other people for small investigations who are available at the time. That way, um, I don't have to worry about a big scheduling conflict. Usually, whoever I have is available pretty relatively quickly. So that's how that came about. And I've just kind of grown the social media presence since. um, we've just kind of taken on the social media side of things, and we started the merch side of things, and we're just kind of growing as we go, learning and expanding.
I love your merch. I'm gonna buy a couple of items from your shop. I love it. But
I appreciate
Yeah.
particularly love that I smoke and I know. That was a good one. My husband's getting that one.
it. I try to make sure there's something for everybody. I know not everybody has the same kind of sense of humor. I have a dark, twisted sense of humor. I know that. I know not everybody does, but I try to make sure that there's something for everybody. And I'll tell you, 95% of the designs in that shop I did. So
I
Oh,
love it.
wow.
That's awesome. Yeah, you have one that we have a new team member on our paranormal investigative because I'm also from two paranormal investigative teams.
okay,
So I'm gonna definitely get that pin for one of our new
ah,
recruits we've got. And I think you know which one I'm talking about.
dude, pin for the first timer.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
So go ahead, Chrissy.
Oh, I was just saying, well, I got a little one here now, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's okay. We love the babies too.
So tell me a little bit. I noticed on your website that you have visited a few different cemeteries, and just kind of curious as to what drew you to those particular cemeteries that you have posted on your website.
I'm a
Besides
fan
the
of.
obvious being haunted.
Yeah, I'm just a fan of cemeteries. I think they're peaceful. I find just peace and solace in there, and I like to go in there, especially when I'm having difficult times for myself. It's just seems like a restful place, and I like to explore just cemeteries that I find. A lot of those ones are local cemeteries that I've come across. I'm just like, well, it's nice out. Let's take a little walk.
Hmm.
But yeah, I honestly, I find them very peaceful. Um, I really love the architecture and the headstones
Yeah.
and things like that. I find it fascinating, especially from the different time periods. Um, so I mean, it's like taking a walk through history for me, and I just enjoy it.
I do too. There's a couple cemeteries locally here that I have a kind of a soft spot for. And I agree with you 100% on that. It is. Everyone thinks as a cemetery is scary and spooky, and yeah, I guess you could make it that way if you wanted to, but in most cases, it really is a very peaceful environment, you know. So I totally understand that and get that as well.
Yep,
Oh, yeah. I love cemeteries.
I have one that's literally like maybe a mile up the street. So
Mhm.
it's a very small cemetery. When the weather's nice and the body's feeling okay, and I try to get my walks in, I try to always walk up to the cemetery and get a little walk around, do a little maybe a live or a little videotape, and just talking to my ghost buddies as I'm walking through.
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do have a couple.
we take walks sometimes to the cemetery when it's nicer out. And my youngest grandchild, he's 3. He's always saying hi to
I love
everybody,
that.
you know. It's like, who you
That's
talking to? So, but yeah.
talking to everybody.
Yep, he is. He's talking to everybody. So so how from your website, you offer quite a bit of stuff with your investigation. You want to kind of like tell everybody what you offer for the investigation?
Yeah, I mean, we're really in just to help people out. I mean, people have a lot of things that they can't experience. I mean, I have a full array of equipment. If you watch any of the ghost hunter shows or any of the paranormal entertainer shows that I like to call them, um, you'll see a lot of the equipment that they have. I have a lot of those bells and whistles and gadgets, and I have all the same equipment. And we give them the experience of essentially what they see on TV in real life and try to get them some real time answers. Um, I don't claim to be like a medium or anything like that. I'm not. I am an empath. I feel energy shifts, but I don't see spirits unless they really manifest or anything like that. Um, but I use my scientific methods, and I have 2 degrees in criminal justice, so I've spent a lot of time studying, investigative procedures. So I use that background to take more of that approach to my investigations, as opposed
Great.
to the paranormal side. So I take almost like a police investigator approach to my investigations.
That's really cool. That's a really neat idea. I really like that idea. That concept is really cool.
Hmm. It is. What was one of your favorite places, or maybe scariest places that you ever investigate?
So there's a couple for a couple different reasons. So I'll start off with there's this place called the Hair Foundation. It's in Northville, Michigan. It's a very, very small hair salon. But the history of the building is it's one of the original buildings that was built in downtown Northville when they became a city. Um, used to be a brothel, used to be a drunk tank, used to be a couple different things.
Hmm.
I mean, this place literally, I mean, it can't be but maybe 20 feet wide. This place is so small. It's awesome. Um, I heard the loudest footsteps I've ever heard my entire life in that place, from a place you would never expect anything. And it it was one of those times that I was still setting up equipment. I wasn't even rolling yet. So I don't even have the evidence. So it's just hearsay, honestly, at this point. But I'll never forget it. I've been trying to I've been trying to let her get me to come back since. So so that's one. The other one is Eloise, and that's because I have one of my greatest catches um, of any type of evidence from Eloise Insane Asylum, and that's in Wayne or Westland, Michigan. It depends on where they got it listed, but it's an old insane asylum in Michigan. It was one of the biggest ones in the country. They still have like 2,000 unmarked graves across the street.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
they were actually clearing that out for a city airport. And when they started to dig, they had found out there was over 2,000 unmarked graves. They had to stop. It's now just fenced off as county property, and they nobody can touch it. So that place has a ton of history. I have one of my coolest pieces of evidence from there, and I got it off my body cam. We were
Nice.
up on the 5th floor, and I was talking to my buddy, and he said, "Hey, if there's anybody up here, you can say something." And then we heard a blood curdling scream. I mean, it.
Wow.
My buddy immediately goes, "Hey, man, you want to radio your people?" So I radioed down. I'm like, "Hey, is everybody okay?" Like, I heard a scream. Floors 3, 4, and 5 heard it. 1 and 2 did not. Nobody on 1 and 2 didn't hear it. None of my audio or video equipment on 1 and 2 caught it. I caught it on my body cam on 5.
Wow. That just gave me goosebumps. That's
It,
totally cool.
it's really cool. If you guys get a chance, go. That's one clip I would say go check out for sure.
Well, I saw that you did Ashmore Estates too, and so I'm like, oh, so jealous, and so that's so cool that you got to go there. That's a bucket list item of mine for sure.
That was a really cool place. I'll be honest. It was a weird investigation though because we had one of the craziest storms of the year that night. It was pouring rain. The electricity in the atmosphere was absolutely insane. The sky was lighting up like it was fireworks, and we had just so much rain pouring in. It was pouring into the building. It was making things echo. It was really hard to investigate because of all the extra things going on.
Extra contamination, yeah.
I didn't have any experiences,
Oh, shoot.
but I mean the location itself was I'll definitely go back for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely love to go there. Yeah, that's hard when you get a storm rolling in. The contamination is it's just too difficult to try to sift through that to figure out what is real and what's not real, coming
And you know,
through.
there's just leaks all over the place in there. So I mean you could hear drips and buckets of water, and it's an old building. So it really did make investigating a little bit harder than I'd hoped it would have been.
Wow.
Do
What's
you feel Oh, go ahead, Chrissy.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you feel in residential investigations that I guess the question how I should phrase it is, have you ever left an investigation where you were convinced that the place wasn't haunted? Because a residential investigation, I'm trying to hit more the residential aspect of people calling you for investigations.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had one where as soon as I always like to do a baseline EMF reading as soon as I walk into a place because we all know what high EMFs can do. Electromagnetic fields, they can cause you to hallucinate. They can make you feel sick. There's a
Ding,
lot
ding, ding, ding.
happen.
Mhm.
And I had a friend of mine who was experiencing, seeing things and hallucinating and doing things. And as soon as I walked into her house, I mean, I ran my EMF detector, and the EMFs were just off the charts. I mean, and I ran three different EMF detectors. I ran just the standard EMF, and then I ran like actual like electric, like
In
some
electricians, yeah.
EMF detect, and I was reading red all over that place. I'm like, listen, I don't think you have anything in here, but you need to call an electrician stat.
I
Wow.
had that happen too.
I mean, it's at least then you have some kind of answer.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people are disappointed when you tell them that because they want to be haunted for some reason.
And that's
But
what I was wondering if you got that. If you get a lot of people that go, oh my God, I have something in my house. I've got to do this. I got to look like Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters, I want someone to come out because I want to have that same kind of paranormal effect.
I'm a huge debunker. I'm a
Yeah.
huge debunker. So, like I said, I approach everything as like a police investigation. I'm looking for every logical reason of why things do what they do. On my last investigation at Wildwood Sanitarium in New York, um, we we kept seeing they had a pendulum sand table, and it was moving, and nobody could get that thing to move, and everybody was freaking out. And I was like, "All right, hold on, let me give this thing a go." So I mean, everybody was walking really close to the table, myself included, and it did move. I moved back about 3 feet. There was a loose board. Boom, hit that board. It started wiggling. I'm like, it's not paranormal, guys. And a lot of people were disappointed. They're like, "Oh man, come on!" I'm like, "What do you want me to tell you? It's not. It's not paranormal. I mean, I'm not gonna
Not
make.
gonna lie.
I'm in this
Well,
for my.
that's good though. I mean, I like that. One thing about meeting Red and I is we like people to debunk everything that they investigate, instead of saying, "Oh yeah, that is real," and then everybody's thinking it because everybody nowadays, if something drops on accident, just drops, they think, "Oh, a ghost moved it or something."
It's
Yeah,
paranormal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, and some of the TV shows, um, I like
that's
watching the paranormal TV shows, but then anymore it's just like, I don't know, you know, they get so repetitive.
I love them. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I get hooked. I get sucked into the marathon. That's call them paranormal entertainment because
Yeah.
that's what it is. There's not a whole lot of actual paranormal going on in those videos, and I spend a lot of my time sitting watching those videos debunking those. Um, yeah, everything's a demon. Everything everything's evil. Um, I tell people I've been investigating for probably over 20 years, and I have maybe 5 solid pieces of evidence. And people were like, "What do you mean 5?" I'm like, "When you go to these places, most of the time you're sitting in the dark for 12 hours and you don't catch a damn thing."
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and I'm not. If I hear a noise and it's not distinct, if there are 20 other things that it can be, then it's not paranormal. I'm not going to
Right.
sink into it.
I can understand that. Yeah. You do have a YouTube channel, which I did put in the comments for everybody to subscribe to your YouTube. Now, on your YouTube channel, I haven't had a chance to really look at it since everybody's been kind of sick and everything.
Oh,
But on your YouTube, do you ever show videos of like some different clips of TV shows and debunk them live on your YouTube or not?
I don't do that personally, just because that's a lot of editing, and I'm not my editing. Let's be honest, my editing skills are not the greatest.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be honest, I spend more of my time researching places, researching different types of hauntings, um, different states, the top hauntings in those states. I try to find different places to be at. And that's I sink a lot of time into that, and a lot of like rabbit hole conspiracy stuff. So I do a lot of studying in my downtime rather than debunking other people's things. Um, I honestly am more concerned about my own evidence than somebody else's.
I would say that
Wise.
too. Yeah.
That's a
Yes.
wise decision. Yeah,
Very.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But it's true, when you do everything is demonic. I mean, again, and they don't look. Most people don't realize that for an investigation, how long you have to sit, and get the evidence that they get. Those shows usually, I mean, for instance, Amy Bruni, I know talking with her that, she said that sometimes it's a 2 week thing that they're on set for 2 weeks to get that, to get like a 45 minute with commercials, an hour show.
Right,
So it's not like it's like this, because you can't just walk into a building and go, okay, I'm here, perform, because they're not going to perform.
right, absolutely, and that's another thing that I tell people. It's like fishing. I mean, you're not gonna catch something every time you go out. I mean,
Yeah.
I do most of my own review. Okay, Potter Paranormal Project. I run most of it. My wife helps me with a lot of like the build. She built the website. She helps me do a lot of the you know platform stuff. And then I have a couple of investigators who help and they review their stuff. But if I have 3 cameras rolling and then 2 microphones or sound recorders rolling, and I'm on location for 8 hours, that's 48 hours of
Yeah,
information that I have to watch and review and listen to. And that's a minimal 2 cameras or 3 cameras and 2 recorders. And some of these places, I mean, we full rig with full CCTV cameras. My wife has sat out in the outside in a tent and watched the live. So we do a lot with the audio and the video, but it's a lot
to
to
go
render.
through.
It's a lot to
Mhm.
render when it's mostly you. So it takes up most of my time between review and just falling in rabbit holes and studying.
Yes. Well, so what do you think about Jason Hawes trying to get the Conjuring house?
I was just going to ask him that too.
Oh, was-
Great minds think alike.
I support it. I support it because I think he's in it for the right reasons. I
Yes.
I
I
think he
agree.
wants to preserve
Yeah.
the history of the house, um, and I would support him getting custody or legal ownership of the house. Um,
Hmm.
I'm disappointed in the other ones that we won't throw no names or anything out there. I'm disappointed in a couple of those guys, um, because we see what happened with the Warrens' house, where I mean it's not even financially feasible to even go in there and spend the night anymore. You
No, it's not. It's
you can't
terrible.
you can't even use your own review. It has to be subjected to their review. You get 5 minutes. It's insane. It's insane. And that's not what this field is about. Um, yeah, I do it to make money off my likeness and image with my merch store, and stuff like that. But it's because I have severe stage fibromyalgia and I can't work. So that's how I try to fund my adventures.
Right.
Um, so I mean, I can't say that we don't hope to never make money in the field, but um, that's outrageous. That's outrageous.
It really is. I mean, that's really it's very disconcerting. And I love the fact that Jason is going to make it so that the general public would be able to go in there. I mean, that's the one thing that makes it,
Yes.
so exciting is that it's something that the general public would be able to experience for a reasonable amount of money.
Yeah,
I
and if
haven't
you,
seen what's the dollar and cent, Roger? Have you looked at that? What's the dollar and cent amount that they're charging just to be able to go in overnight?
I have not looked. Last I looked, it was like I want to say like 1,200 for
Okay, yeah.
2 hours. And then, like I
Mhm.
said, anything that you wanted to submit, they would review 5 minutes, and then anything after that's like $100 review or something. It's like it's crazy. Um,
Wow.
Yeah.
but yeah,
I
I mean, I
think
would Jay get in
I think
this
I
because
heard 2000.
it might be
That they,
2,000. It might be
yeah.
2,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
If you guys, I mean, if you remember when Jay and them got started, they essentially started as residential, helping people out before
Right.
they started doing these big places, and that's how these big pay to play places got popular in the first place. Um, but for him, it would be going back to his roots. So I would support it absolutely.
Yeah, we do too. We
Oh
very much are in favor of it as well. So I just
yeah.
hope I haven't heard anything more about it recently, but I think isn't it
Yeah.
something that
Well, Jason Hawes had a live last night on his YouTube
oh we
about
did.
it. Yes. Of course I missed it. I have to go back and look at it, but um, I think he has some updates on it, trying to keep I like how he keeps everybody in the loop,
Yeah,
you know.
he was doing a live Q&A last night, but I was watching another podcast that my buddy was on, so I missed. I mean, I'll be honest. If it comes to between supporting somebody that I know and somebody that I've seen on TV, I'm 100% always going to watch the person that I know because
Yeah.
I have more ties with them, and it's
Yeah.
just me. It's a more personal connection. So I missed it, but I'll catch up. I'll catch up on it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good to know YouTube. You can always go back and catch everything, you know. So yeah, because I know a lot of people doesn't watch live when we podcast, but when I go back in maybe 2 or 3 days, it's like, oh wow, this got like 100 views, you know. It's like, oh wow, you know. So
Yeah, and to be honest, I didn't expect my social media or anything to be where it's at now. I think I'm at like 5.7K or something like that, and
wow.
I really just started this back in like May of like the social media part of it. Uh,
Hmm.
this all was really just for me to gather my own information, gather my own research, and to prove that things exist that we can't see. And
Yeah.
you know, I people just kind of gravitated towards my genuine attitude, and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I do stupid things sometimes. But I think that's why people love me is because I
Hmm.
genuinely me, every time. If I screw up, I'll tell you I screwed up.
Yeah.
Um, and if I feel like I'm right, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on it. So, uh, I'm loud, obnoxious. I just want to have a good time and enjoy what we got going on. So I
Hey,
think when people tune in.
be your true self. That's what I always tell everybody. Be you. Be the
Right.
true you. Don't try to sugarcoat yourself for anybody because you're beautiful just the way you are.
Right.
Um, so
Well, and
I
that's
appreciate that.
refreshing in this day and age, especially in the paranormal world where it's so, like we've talked about with other guests, as well as, the paranormal hostility, as I call it, how
Yeah.
it's just a kind of a cutthroat industry for people, and it shouldn't be, because we're all after the same answers, the same thing, the same results. It's
Yeah.
to get answers to questions that we have, and to be respectful of the spirits that are there.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's kind of it's weird too because like everybody's hung up on this whole para unity thing, and if there's para unity and there's not para unity. My whole mentality on it, there's para unity if you want there to be para unity. You can
That's
have a
true.
whole selection of people who create a unit and they get along great. So that's para unity. If you don't want to be a part of that, then that's fine. You don't have to be.
Right.
Um, but you don't claim that there's no unity in the paranormal field because there's all kinds of us. I got 5,000 people that's a unit. I mean,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
that seems pretty unit to me. So you know, and I think it's just I think we need less drama, more just more unity. And I'll be honest, I myself got caught up in it this past week. I said something stupid. um, I apologized for it immediately, publicly. Um, and that's the best that I can do. I screwed up. I admitted to it, and we move on, and we either accept it and we move on, and we accept the unity, or you're just not part of my para unity group. I have another
Right.
para unity group. I mean, it is what it is. I can't fix your feelings about things, but all I
Mhm.
do is apologize and move on.
Right.
So
Exactly. Right. It's very true. Yeah. So do you have a medium on your team, Roger, or no?
I don't. I do not have a medium on my team right now. I have a couple that I collaborate with regularly. Like I've been collaborating quite a bit with Tiffany from Beyond Logic with Tiffany. She's awesome. If you guys don't know her, go check her stuff out. She's based out of New York,
Nice.
like Niagara area, and she's really awesome. She does a podcast and stuff. So she's a medium. I have another medium that I've worked with, Paranormal Girls, Brenda. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Why does it
Um,
sound familiar? It sounds familiar. Yeah.
they're,
It
they're
does.
they're an Iowa group.
And that's where you
What's the name of
from?
yeah, what's the name of the group of them again? Of the team or
Paranormal Girls.
okay, yeah, we do have an all-female team here, located here
Yep.
someplace. I saw that, and I think it was recommended because we have another paranormal team, SIPS, that's from Iowa. I think I was trying to get a hold of them. I have to go back now in my archives and my messages and see about that. But I
Yep.
think, yeah, because I know when I asked somebody, a group about that I'm in, a paranormal group, to come on, anybody who wants to come on, I got like 50 responses, and I
Uh,
was like really overwhelmed. I mean, this was just like, just a few hours. So I made a list. I'm trying to go through my list, and it's hard, but I have enough people for the whole year, I think, for the paranormal.
Yeah.
But then somebody else would pop up and was like, "Oh, we got to add them on the list," and more and more and more. And then Medium Red has other people. It's like, "Oh, hey, we need to get this person on." It just adds on, which
yeah,
is
I was
I
real
love
excited
it.
you guys reached out to me. I
Huh?
always, I said I was real excited you guys reached out to me. I enjoy doing this.
Yeah, we enjoyed to have you on, and I think the best thing about having you on is a few others that we have spoken to in the past, well, probably a few months, you are true to yourself. You're true to what the paranormal is
Yeah.
supposed to be about. You're not out there to make gobs of money, or you're not out there to, not to say any names, but to be famous and everything. You're out there to help everybody, to,
Yeah.
like you said, debunk it if you have to, and that's real. That's what we like.
Yeah, see, I could care less if the media knows my name. I want the people in the paranormal world to know my name. When my name gets brought up, I want them to go, "Hey, man, that's a good dude. He's done
Yeah.
a lot for the paranormal community." Um, you know, and that's how I want it to be. I don't care about the whole like actual TV media personas. I don't want to make money that way. I want to make money, like I said, through my likeness and
Yeah.
my image and my merch and things like that. But as far as investigation itself, it's about helping people. It's about helping people find some answers about what's going on, and I think that gets lost in a lot of paranormal um, investigating now because of what people see on TV. And I think
Yeah.
people are just more paranormal entertainers and going for the thrill of things rather than actual trying to find solutions and answers.
Yeah, to find the evidence and the actual answers to the questions that people have. It's true. So you don't charge for residential investigations then?
I started to at first, but it's you know what, it's not feasible for me. I don't think. One, it's an expensive thing to do. Um,
Right.
so to charge and actually be profitable, I would have to charge a lot.
Right.
Let's be fair. Um, I would rather make my money through, hey man, I'll come check it out, buy a sweater or something, it's
Right.
me, or throw my name out there and have somebody else check me out. That's
Right.
how that's how I want to make my money. But as far as the residentials, I did think about going that route, but I don't think that route's for me because I am just naturally a person who wants to help. Um, but I'm a loudmouth, arrogant guy. So I mean, I think my likeness would, you know, I think my image and my likeness can sell itself. So um, I'm trying to make the best of both worlds here.
Well,
Great.
we had a case where we had that where somebody had gone into uh, it was actually the next door neighbor. It was an apartment complex, and we had somebody go in and do an investigation next door to the case that we had. So they were having similar activity going on, which was it was legit, legit paranormal activity. But the people that went in and did the investigation on the other people's side charged like $2,000,
Oh,
and
that's insane.
yeah, just to
Even
have wow.
even when I was charging a little bit, I think it was like $300 tops. You know, and that was just because that's what it would cost me for my time and everything. And I'll be honest, the only reason why I did that was because I had so many people who would schedule me to come in,
Oh,
and
and then
or day before they would cancel.
right,
And after a while, I just got frustrated with it, and I said, "Listen, if you guys want to take this serious, then you're gonna have to pay me for my time."
right,
Um, I did that for a little while, and now I'm just kind of back to like, all right, I'm done being, upset about it. People genuinely do need help, and was that kind of petty of me a little bit, but maybe. But at the same time, when every weekend you're looking forward to an investigation and they cancel the night before or whatever, it gets disheartening when you're trying to build a brand. So
right. Oh,
you
I
know,
understand. Yeah, I get it. Well, and in the case of this person that did this, it was $2,000 to do the investigation, and then they turned around and if they wouldn't tell them what evidence they got, because if they wanted to know the evidence, then they were charged them another. I can't remember. I'd have to ask Misty this, but I think it was like another $500 or something like that for them to give them what evidence they picked up. So these people never got anything. At least, basically, in a nutshell, they paid $2,000 and they never got anything because they thought, well, another $500. I mean, it should be included in the $2,000 that they just dumped.
100%.
So they got taken. They just got taken basically.
and that's what I didn't want to. That's what I didn't want to be looked at
Right.
as somebody who was just trying to scam people to make money and things like that. So, um, I think my integrity and my image was more important than the money. So
Right.
and then so I said if I can't make money doing it that way because my integrity, my is more important than the money, then I'll do it off other ways. I'll
Right.
build a social media following because after what 10,000 you get paid per comments and I'll make money that way. Whatever. I'll fund it somehow so I can continue my passion.
Right. There you
One way
go.
or
Love it. That's awesome. It's refreshing, actually.
Yes, it is. Very. Very. I did find that team in Iowa, so I'm going to message them.
yes.
You know what would be kind of fun to do, Chrissy, is to do like three teams that are all female teams.
I was thinking about that because I know we have the Ghost Sisters, and then
Yeah, they're in Ohio, right?
Yeah, they're
yes,
in. Yeah.
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
Hmm.
I'm
yeah,
a fan of them. I check them out quite often.
And then you
yeah.
could have K Hall
That,
because we're all female too.
There you go.
yeah, that will be
I
exciting.
I'm split. I'm pretty split. I got me, my good buddy Jerry, and then I have my sister in law and my daughter who
I love
invested.
it.
So,
That's awesome.
so actually, my daughter will be going with me next weekend. We have an investigation down at Mortuary Manor, so
Oh,
that'll be fun. It's my birthday. We're actually going down there and spending the night on my birthday to investigate Mortuary Manor. So I'm
I
excited.
love that. That's awesome.
And
it is.
from Beyond Logic with Tiffany will be joining me on that investigation as well.
So she
So
does it remotely. She zooms in on remotely then.
no, she will be in person.
Oh, she comes in person too. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she will be driving in from New York. Um, I drove in from Michigan to investigate with her in New York. She's driving in from New York to investigate with me in Ohio.
That's awesome. That's good.
Yeah,
I love that. Because I
that
think was it David Wells does. He's got a psychic medium that he consults with. Like, if she's in
in
Europe, I
Greece.
think you said,
She's in
right?
Greece. Yeah, she's in
Greece,
Greece.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And she does all of her work remotely.
yeah. He's also from
I
Michigan
talked
too.
to in the UK who's really good. So and then I have another buddy who's a medium who does work remotely. He actually did some he did the Monroe House not too long ago from Leo Paranormal Explorations. Um,
Nice.
he does some remote work with his gifts and things. I'm an investigator. I look for the logic and you know I try to debunk everything that I come across.
Well, and that's the way you should do it. I mean, like I said, the two team leaders of the teams that I consult with basically are the same way. So I actually appreciate it, because again, it's not like every single thing you hear or see is not always paranormal. You know, Kate, case in point, you were talking about the EMF, and it's the fear cage that people experience from high EMFs. And we had that case as well. And she swore to God. Now she did have an entity that wandered into her house, which that was totally true. But once the entity knew that that was not his house, he left, and she continued to keep thinking that the entity was there.
Right.
But when we took the EMF reader, Roger was crazy. You could put the EMF reader up to me, and what's it going to do?
Right.
It's going to be zero.
Right.
We put it up to a woman, and it was all the way red. So she had absorbed so much of the electricity and the energy from the electricity that was, I mean, she was actually having physical issues.
Jesus. Yeah, when I walked into the house, one of the residentials. As soon as I walked into like the laundry room where they had the electrical box and everything like that, I didn't have to get near anything. I mean, as soon as I walked in that room, it was just off the charts. And I'm like, you need to call your landlord and tell him to get an electrician here
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
And that's what we had to do. We had to tell her to do the same thing too. I mean, it was essentially the same situation in that case because she's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm a medium, and there's no one here."
Yeah.
Trust me, I do know.
I wonder if there ever has been an online Paracon.
I don't know. That's a good question.
So, well,
That's
I was
something
just
to
thinking
think
that would
about,
that would
though.
be really good to have, online
Right.
Paracon with, a bunch of teams or individuals and just I don't know how what they would do, but we'll figure out something, I guess.
I,
Yeah, actually, that's a really good idea.
You what?
there's got to be a way with all the technology and virtual,
Yeah.
and I mean, you can do all of the RPG gaming where you can just meet up
Mhm.
with people in the gaming world. Why not a paranormal verse?
Kind of like what Christian did with the witch. What is it called? WitchCon that he did just recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
That's
kind of similar to that, I mean, it's like putting it, but that was like he was there in person interviewing, like he was, he was actually interviewing some of these people.
yeah.
So, but that's kind of the theory. That's actually a really good idea. I think she's onto something, Roger.
I think so too. I think so. Yeah, a virtual para universe.
Yeah,
I think
I
that'd be
I think
yeah.
cool.
it's
Well, I think we just need to put our heads together and think about that, see how we can do that. And of course, Roger, you're in on this too, since you heard it here first.
All
yeah,
right. Thanks.
Announcement.
All
So if you figure out how we can do it, we support you.
right. We'll work on it.
I
But yeah,
love it.
that would be kind of fun though, because you know, with you and with our, a few guests that we had and probably more coming on too as well, you know, they're really true to themselves about the paranormal. Um, because and that's great because that's what we want, somebody to be true about what's going on. We don't
Mhm.
want somebody to sugarcoat something and says, "Oh yeah, you have demons in your house and all these spirits and everything." We want somebody who says, "Oh, well, let me see. Could it be this? Could it be that?" And I think that's where a lot of people is missing it because I think they want something to happen to them or to their house, so
Yeah.
they kind of manifest everything to come in and just cause chaos. So with people like you, who's like, nah, I don't think so. That's what we need.
I think
Yeah,
people just
absolutely.
get it in their own heads too. So when they hear any of the slightest thing, they're like, "Oh my god, it's paranormal." But
Yeah,
um,
Yeah.
it's just I
it's
don't.
true.
But yeah, I
It's
mean,
very true.
I've worked with people who have eye rolled me to death because they'll walk in and they're like, "Oh, this their energy in here's crazy and something don't want me in here," and I'll walk in there. I'm like, "I don't feel a damn thing. Pretty calm, quiet. Like I don't know what you're saying here, guy. Like I'm an empath. Like I feel energy shifts, but um, pretty quiet." And people get mad at me for that, and I understand it, but you know, we just all have different gifts, I guess. Mine is to investigate, and if I don't feel it, I don't feel it.
I understand that completely because in 2024 we went to the Lizzie Borden house. Uh,
It's so
my
funny.
son, his family, and my daughter-in-law is just like, "Oh, did you see that? Did you hear that?" I'm just like, "Honey, you just want something to happen," And yeah, and plus we have somebody who, well, I'm not gonna say she wasn't a medium, but it's just the way she went about doing it. And then what's so funny is when she was done, she was saying the ghost tripped her, and the ghost came back in the spirit box and says, "No, I didn't." It was just so funny, and I'm just I'm the type of person didn't really I didn't feel anything until we went downstairs, then I felt something, and when I was left alone, because I told her to just get out of there, I wanna be in here, in the seance room, I got a lot of activity just myself,
Right.
so
Yeah.
and people just they want things to happen, so much.
Hmm.
Yep, I think so. I think people just want to try to have an experience so bad so they can have an experience that they just psych themselves into thinking that something's paranormal.
Right.
Whereas going into a situation real level headed and trying to examine everything for what it really is. But then again, if that's what they're into, hey, that's what they're into. They're in it for the thrill, and to each their own. I'm in it for my own validation. So, we, I try to gravitate more towards the people who are in it for validation, rather than those who are in it to entertain. Um,
Right.
but you know what? I guess there's room for both. If there's a market for both. So I'm not going to knock anybody's hustle. If that's what you do and you get the views for it, then good on you. Uh,
Yeah.
but just know that I'm out here trying to prove you wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just has to be a balance, I guess, between the
Right.
two. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
so. What's coming up for you next?
Um. So the next thing that I got coming up, actually, it's not even really paranormal related. I'll be on my local radio show, um, a local radio show, WDET. Um, that airs here in Detroit. For I'll be talking about my fibromyalgia situation and that
Oh.
and what it's like living with a chronic debilitating condition. Um, and then after that, on Friday the 6th, my birthday, we'll be down at the Mortuary Manor. It's going to be awesome because I'll have both my teams there. I'll have Southwest Detroit Paranormal, so my dad, my sister, my brother-in-law, two of my nephews, and then it'll be me, my wife, who does not investigate. She she doesn't investigate. She doesn't like being in there. None of it. But she said, "It's your birthday. I'll suck it up. I'll go." So
Good
I owe
wife.
her, I owe her big time. But she's gonna go, and then my daughter, then my buddy, and so it's gonna be both teams. And then we're bringing in Tiffany from Beyond Logic with Tiffany. She'll be on site with us, and she's
That's
my team.
cool.
It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna celebrate my birthday, and we're gonna spend the night in a haunted funeral.
I love it. That's awesome.
I love that too. Well, happy early birthday to you.
Yeah.
I won't say I won't ask you how old you're going to be. So
It's okay. I'll be 41.
oh, get out of here.
I know.
So
We will.
well,
I'm 29.99.
yeah. Despite the gray hair, I'm 25. I just
After
She's 25 and I'm 29.99. It's Walmart. Prices are dropping.
I
yeah.
was gonna say after 29, women don't age anymore anyway, right?
That's right. It's like wine.
That's true. That is very true. Well, Roger, it's been a pleasure to have you on. And um, any last words you want to say before we end the podcast?
Yeah. First and foremost, I want to say thank you so much for bringing me on today, ladies. I really did enjoy our time. This has been on the books for a while. We scheduled this like a month, almost 2 months ago. I've been
Hmm.
looking forward to this big time. So thank you so much for having me on. I want to say thank you to all my loyal goon squad who've been out there. You guys are fantastic. I do also want to say with some of the things that have gone on this week, I know I have been a very popular person and the center of some unwanted attention. Um, Once again, that's not my intent is to draw that kind of attention. I do want unity in the paranormal world. I do want nothing but success for everybody else. So we're human. We make mistakes. Things happen. That's the best I can offer on that. But just going forward, I'm looking to be a more in attentive person of the things that I do and say, and a little less emotional in my responses. That's a big part of my problem. Like I said, I'm a very brash, uh, uh, eccentric guy. so I for anything like that, like I really don't mean anything um in any negative way towards anybody. I'm not that kind of guy. I just want to see everybody succeed. I want to see everybody have a good time. I want to see everybody love, laugh, and enjoy the paranormal investigation. So
Well,
hopefully we can
bless
bring
you
that
on that.
together. Hopefully we can bring that back together. That's my big goal. Like I said, I was a big part of putting a hole in that. I screwed up, but hey, I'm willing to admit that, and hopefully we can get that repaired and get this pair unity thing back under control, and and move forward. So I appreciate the platform for that. It just so happened that a lot of things happened this week, and then I had the platform to kind of come on here publicly and address it. So
That is
I appreciate that.
that is fine. We're not stingy or anything. We like to share. We like to make dreams and wishes come true. So, hey, my podcast, your podcast. Okay, that's how we do it here on Behind the Vision in the Cauldron. So
Well, you ladies
And
did make us feel like home, so I appreciate it. This
good.
was a lot more comfortable than I expected it to be. It was very nice. I was a little nervous coming in, not gonna lie.
I'm nervous every time I open and say hi everybody. It's like, yeah, I get nervous, and then I look back and I'm like, oh god, I'm just so lame and corny. It's like it should be just Medium Red show, not mine.
No.
You add quite the flair to this show. Listen, you
Yeah,
you're a big proponent to this show. You don't
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
There's no me without you.
that's
and
true.
on
We're
me
like
without
twins.
you. So
I just came out about 5 years earlier than than what she did.
we
So,
all need each other in the long run. You know.
yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Exactly.
And I hope that you would join us on trying to do maybe an online Paracon somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I would love that and just see how far we can go with it. Maybe we might bring in some of the big people or something. You never know.
yeah. I'll definitely
So,
look into that because I think that'd be a really cool idea.
yeah,
Do
it
almost
would.
a virtual para universe where almost
Yeah.
like almost like a World of Warcraft where everybody in the para
Yeah.
universe
Yep. I'm
together.
Yeah.
game. I'm game. So,
Yeah. I think it's awesome.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
Well, to everybody in the audience, thank you for tuning in tonight. Subscribe, share, and like. Go over to the Potter Paranormal Project and subscribe and like and share that out too, please. And blessings, everybody. Stay warm. And if you're sick, please get better. And we love you all. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks again.
Thank you guys.
Oh, and Roger, stay on just for a few minutes while we end the podcast.
Gotcha.
Okay,
You'll
thank
go
you.
backstage.